First you separate and then you integrate. Just follow these steps and you will do great. First you separate and then you integrate. Just follow these steps and you will do great.
Here's the season to be serving.
When I was solving equations, I was feeling amazing.
All right, greetings. Welcome to our part 2 video on rate in, rate out, FRQs. Not a lot to talk about. We kind of gave the spill of these problems in the part 1 video. The part 1 video, we looked at an example that was a calculator-based example. This particular video, we're just going to look at an example that's a non-calculator-based example, but it's essentially the same kind of stuff. So let's dig right in. All right, so here's the problem. It says on Super Bowl Sunday, people enter Walmart at a rate modeled by E of t. During the time interval of t is between 0 and 4, where E of t is measured in hundreds of people per hour, and t represents the hours after 9 a.m. During the same time interval, people leave Walmart at a rate modeled by L of t, where L is measured in hundreds of people per hour, and t represents the hours after 9 a.m. There are 700 people in Walmart at time t equals 0. So again, if you kind of things we touched on in the part 1 video, we want to have a good note of what's the rate in and what's the rate out. Obviously, in this case, E of t is the rate in. That's the rate of people entering Walmart, and L of t is the rate out. That's the rate of people leaving Walmart. We also want to know the initial value, the people in there at time t equals 0. In that case, that's 700. And the units of measurement of the functions is important. And in this case, it's hundreds of people per hour. And t, the independent variable, represents hours since after 9 a.m. All right, so that is the relevant information. Let's go ahead and look at problem A. I believe this particular example, we're just going to look at 3 problems, A, B, and C. Let's look at A. All right, so question A says how many people enter Walmart during the time intervals from 0 to 2. So again, as we saw in the part 1 video, they typically ask us to find the accumulation of one of the rates, whether it's the rate in or the rate out. In this case, we're finding the accumulation of the rate in from 0 to 2, the number of people entering Walmart from time t equals 0 to t equals 2. So let's go ahead and work that out. All right, so I just have the 2 functions written just for reference. And one thing I meant to say this in the part 1 video is probably more germane to the part 1 video because you're typing these functions into the calculator. You just want to make sure, so you get all of your points that you're physically able to get, make sure you type the functions in correctly and write the functions correctly. So if I'm entering the functions into the calculator, I didn't in the video, but normally I should double check just to make sure I didn't miss anything, because it's very common to make a mistake here. Maybe you hit minus instead of hitting plus, or maybe you miss a letter or something. Just make sure the functions are in there right. And the same thing here. So when I write these down, I double check them off camera. So I just double check to make sure these are the actual right functions. So again, part A wants me to find the number of people that entered Walmart from time t equals 0 to t equals 2. So I'm going to integrate E of t from 0 to 2. So E of t is 20 minus t squared dt. And so that's going to be 20t minus t cubed over 3 to be evaluated from 0 to 2. And so plugging in 0 for t would just give me 0. So I really just need to plug in 2. And that would be 40 minus 8 over 3. So I'm sure your AP students have heard, once you plug in, once everything is numerical, you really don't have to simplify. So you could leave your answer like that. And it's very hard for me to do that. So, you could just leave your answer as 40 minus 8 over 3, and you'll get the full amount of points. But I just like to keep going. So this is 120 over 3 minus 8 over 3, which is 112 over 3. All right, so that's the answer on that particular problem. Again, very straightforward. So whenever they ask you about the accumulation of one of the rates, whether it's the rate in or the rate out, the answer is a simple integral from whatever interval they're referring to. Let's go ahead and look at the next question. Well, before we look at the next question, and I didn't do a very good job of modeling this in the first video. Yeah, I just want to go back to the question, and before you go to the next question, just make sure you answered everything they asked, because we're so used to doing these problems, and typically we know what they're going to ask. And so sometimes we just assume it's asking something, and maybe it's asking something different and we didn't even pay attention to because we're so used to the questions. So let me just go back before I move to question B to make sure I've answered everything they asked me about question A. All right, and so looking at question A, they are just asking, how many people entered Walmart during the time for ST goes from 0 to 2. All right, so let's go ahead and look at question B. So question B says, write an expression involving one or more integrals for the total number of people in hundreds in Walmart at time T for T between 0 and 4. Then find a total number of people in the stadium, in Walmart at time T equals 3. So I have a little typo here. I tried to proofread this before I put it, so I kind of missed it. So I have another, rate and rate problem that talks about the number of people going in a stadium at Super Bowl Sunday. It just, we tend to do these problems around the time of the Super Bowl. So a lot of the problems I've created are Super Bowl related. So that's why that stadium is in there, because this was a modification of that problem. So I apologize for that particular typo, but of course it doesn't mean stadium. It means Walmart. Going back to the part one video, that was a video dealing with the accumulation of snow and amount of snow melting. And it asked us to find the total amount of snow at, I think it was at time T equals 2, if I remember correctly. And that's all it wanted. Well, this is asking to find the total number of people at time T equals 3. But in addition to that, it's asking me to write an expression. So, this is an example of a problem where you just, they want me to find a total. So just go ahead and do the deal to find a total, but they want you to write an expression as well. So you want to make sure you write the expression as well, because you want to be able to get all the points you can possibly get. So let's look at the way this expression is going to be. So this is problem B we're doing. And so to find the total, you're going to do the integral of the rate in minus the integral of the rate out plus the initial value. So when I ask for an expression, what I like to do is say I call this expression f. So f of x, and I'll take the integral of the rate in problem, dt, and I'll just do this from 0 to x. This is a function of x, minus the integral from 0 to x of L of t dt, and then plus the initial value, which I believe was 7. So this is a function of x. This variable should be different from this particular variable, as you see here. So you don't want this to be a t up here. So you want it to be different from this variable. So that's the basic expression that they want. Now, they want me to find the actual value at 3. And so that would be f of 3, what they want me to find. And that would be the integral from 0 to 3 of e of t dt minus 0 to 3 of L of t dt plus 7. So let's put in what these functions actually are. So the integral from 0 to 3 of e of t is 20 minus t squared, 20 minus t squared, and L of t is negative 4t plus 5, negative 4t plus 5, dt plus 7. All right, so let's go ahead and integrate. So we've already integrated e previously, and that's 20t minus t cubed over 3 to be evaluated from 0 to 3. and L of t would be negative 2t squared plus 5t, and to be evaluated from 0 to 3. And then, of course, your plus 7. All right, so let's see what this equals. I'll put this up here so I can reference it. All right, so I'm going to plug in 3. Again, the good thing about this is neither one of these do we need to plug in 0, so we're just going to plug in 3 each time. So here we have 20 times 3. Well, I don't want to write 20 times 3. So we have 60 minus 3 squared is 27 divided by 3. So 60 minus 9 minus, and here we're going to plug in 3. That's going to be a 9 minus 2. So negative 18. And then 3 times 5 is 15 plus 15 plus 7. So again, everything is numerical now. Again, as they say, we can just leave it like this, but I don't see the fun in leaving it like that. But again, you could just leave it like this, but I'm gonna go ahead and figure out the answer because the suspense is killing me. So this is 51 minus negative 3 plus 7. That's 51 plus 3, that's 54 plus 7 is 61. So there's 61. Let me go back to the problem and just make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, so it asked me to write an expression. I did. And it asked me to find the total number of people. I did. And you know, what I tend to do when I'm doing these problems is I have a proclivity to forget this first part. So to write in the expression part, that's something I particularly forget to do. So that's one of the reasons I always like to go back and check the problem, make sure I did everything they recall. Because you know I have a tendency not to do this part when I'm in the mix of doing problems real fast. All right, we have one more problem here on this example. That's problem number C. Let's take a look and see what C is all about. So C is asking, is the number of people at Walmart increasing or decreasing at time t equals 2? Give a reason for your answer. So again, it's talking about is the number of people increasing or decreasing, and so that depends upon is the rate or the derivative negative or positive, as we mentioned in the part 1 video. So again, E of t and L of t are rates. So all we have to do is see if E of 2 minus L of 2, whether that value is positive or negative to make our answer. So let's take a look. All right, so we're on problem C, and we're going to do E of 2 minus L of 2. So E of t, I gotta go to another paper. Okay, E of t was 20 minus t squared. So this is going to be 20 minus 4 minus, and L of t is negative 4t plus 2. So minus, negative 4t plus 5. So minus negative 8 plus 5. So this is 16 minus negative 3. That's positive 19. That's a positive number. So therefore, the number of people in Walmart is increasing. And anytime you talk about a derivative, you know, a rate, you want to talk about at what particular moment it's an instantaneous rate of change, is increasing at time t equals 2 because E of 2 minus L of 2 is greater than 0. And so that's all you need. So again, it's just a difference of the rate at that particular time. The initial value has nothing to do with whether the number of people is increasing or decreasing at that particular time. That's solely dependent upon the rates. All right, so that concludes our part 2 video on rate in, rate out FRQs. I hope this helps you prepare for your excellence on the AP exam, and we'll see you next time.
Specialized in science and math, original black men, busting thoughts that pierce your mental, the fierce, ripping your section. Vocal toe to toe, impeccable, splitting your back, son. Simple as addition and subtraction, black thought, the infinite relax one.